welcome race fans to another edition of ETV and the ASRC Sim Racing Pro Series here on Wednesday night with clear skies and a half-mile concrete racetrack. Do some good old-fashioned short track racing, a little bump, a little grind. David, what do you think we're going to have tonight? A lot of mechanical work for these guys, a lot of body fender work.
Hey Mark, it's great to be here. Looking forward to a great race here at Toledo Speedway. Half-mile track, like you said, kind of flat a little bit. Got enough banking to kind of hold the car in, but that's about it. So there's probably going to be some beating and banging, some sheet metal work, and my guess is we'll probably also see a few incidents tonight that'll be a little more significant than that. That's probably going to take this toll on this field as they get ready to do 200 laps here tonight.
Fantastic. Yeah, this is going to be an exciting race. I couldn't wait to be here tonight to broadcast this and watch the exciting action on the racetrack. And we're running a little bit behind tonight. And, of course, we got John Westland working the cameras. David Bass will be co-side with me. Hollywood Mark Bratcher here in the booth. We got our pole sitter tonight on standby. John, we got him in. We got a contact with him. Jason Bernstein is Mark Bratcher in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Mark.
Well, how about it, man? The 10th quicker in practice, and then you come out there and set us a pole.
Oh yeah, that car is pretty hooked up. This is my first race back. I'd say 8 months in the ASRC Sim, so I had my old archive sets from about a year ago, and a good old buddy of mine, Mike Lawton, had a setup that he made here for a Pro Series race 8 months ago. So I just took that, basically took 2.5 rounds of wedge out, and man, that thing's flying. So I'll probably be a little rusty here tonight. Got to get used to actually pitting and not driving through cars and you know, passing and everything. Got to get used to this ASRC Sim again, but hopefully I don't mess anything up too bad. And got the pole, so the night's starting off pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. After seven months off and jump back in a race car and come out and set the pole and lead the way in practice, you know, early on today. And congratulations on your pole and way to make a comeback. And good luck tonight, buddy.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. My strategy for tonight's race is basically just to stay out of everybody's way. If I could win, that'd be great. But I really just don't want to take anybody's points race out. This is my first race of the season. I'm probably going to do a couple more before the season's out. I think there's only 4 more races left in the season, though. But I'm just planning on trying not to wreck anybody and try and stay in the top 5 the whole race. If you can do that, then you're pretty much going to put yourself in position for a win at the end of the race.
Well, good deal. I'm glad to hear it, buddy. We'll be excited to watch it, buddy. And I know you get ready to strap down to that race car. And good luck. And we're going to kick it down to John on trackside with our national anthem. Welcome back, race fans. We are getting ready to go to green flag race, and we're getting ready to turn some laps and burn some rubber down on this racetrack. David, you ready for this one, buddy?
Absolutely. These short track races are always exciting, and the guys here at ASRC Sim Racing Club always put on great shows, and it seems like the short track races always tend to be some of the best races of the season.
Yeah, buddy, this is going to be a one to dodge the bullet on, and I'm going to start us. Here we go. We got 2 laps before we go to green, and on the pole, our pole sitter, the number 64 of Jason Bernstein. On the outside pole, Mr. White in the number 6 Toyota Camry Gorilla Customs. Starting off, rolling off in the 3rd spot is Mr. Higgy in the number 2 No Fear Chevrolet. Rolling off 4th in the nice MVG bright green number 22 Toyota Camry is the number 22 car of Frank Simano. Rolling off 5th, Burt Software Chevrolet number 72 of Rob Cobb. Rolling off 6th, Travis Monet in the number 48 Lucky Dog Chevrolet. Rolling off 7th, Mr. Roden in the number 19 Burt Software Chevrolet. Rolling off 8th is Mr. Wilson in the number 84 Elite Sim Racing Broadcasting, best of the best, number 84 Chris Wilson. 9 is Hal Beardsworth in the number 3 Westchester Truck. Got a little tongue tied there, David, in the Westchester Truck Repair. Rolling off 10th is number 24 DuPont Chevrolet of Mr. Rosner.
All right, taking from 11th place on down here, the number 62 of Danny Gabaldon. Starting outside of him in 12th is number 16 Dan Morgan. 13th, we got the number 65 of Sean Brown, and outside of him, the number 33 of Jerry Hinkle. Starting in 15th in that number 12 machine is Brian Pace, and outside of him is number 51 of Ben Bando. 17th, we got the 071 of Chris Walker, and outside of him, that number 96 of Jason Riddle. 19th, we got the number 34 of Joe DePino, and outside of him is the number 18 of Hollis Vanderloon. And rounding out your field is going to be the
Let's go short track racing, boys. All right, here we go. Double file going into turn 1. Come off 1. The leader's pulling away by 1 car length. Second place side by side as they try to settle in for 4th and 5th. David?
Yeah, man, you know, they are going to be trying to do everything they can right about here to get this thing single file. This is a short track, and this place gets narrow, and you got one groove right around the bottom is where you're wanting to be. As Jason Burstein right now is leading the field with Jason Higgy and Dan White following in his tracks. Kind of figured Burstein might try to put some distance on the field here early on, but looks like right now he's just kind of feeling his car out here, making sure everything's good to go. I was kind of surprised by that number 02 machine of Jason Higgy there in practice, because he really showed something. I think that he may be somebody that Jason Burstein is going to have to deal with here tonight, Mark.
Yeah, he's definitely putting the target on him as he looks up underneath him right here as they come out of turn 4, and he's definitely got his eyes on the prize of first place. And Jason Bernstein, you know, I think he said he just wanted to settle in, turn some laps, and come out with a good top 5 finish, but he's showing a lot of muscle up front right now. I mean, it's going to be a good fun race. These guys are single file. They're settled in. They know it's a tough racetrack. You know, they're giving each other plenty of room and got off to a great start right here. And a lot of single file, not a lot of action right now. So I think, you know, the guys are doing the right thing and settling in. But I think you're right, Mr. Higgy is steadily out of turn 4 every time he sticks that nose up and then up underneath him. And going into turn 1, I'm watching him stick that nose down in there.
Yeah, I was just sitting here watching back here from about 5th place on back. We got a little bit of shuffling going on. Chris Wilson is starting to make his way forward here. And I saw just a little bit ago Frankie Samanto went underneath the 48 of Travis Monet to move up a spot into 7th place. So the back half of the top 10, there's a little bit of shuffling going on as these guys are kind of getting settled out here. But so far, I've been really impressed. Good clean start. We're 8 laps into this thing already, and these guys have shown a fair amount of patience with everybody, getting their tires up to temp and getting this race going. So looks like we could be in for another really good race here tonight, Mark. Back towards the front, it looks like Jason Higgy's still sitting there right on the back bumper of Jason Burstein, just waiting for Burstein to make a mistake.
Yeah, Chris Wilson just took took over the fourth position from Rob Cobb and the two Burt Software Chevrolets. They kind of lined up single file, so a couple of teammates there. Not a lot of pressure going to be happening right there. But, you know, the big story tonight is short track racing. We got a 4-point difference in the leaders. Ben Bando has a 4-point lead over Paul Conway. And we got a change for the lead as we sit there talking about them points leaders. We got a change for the lead as Mr. Higgy takes over the top spot from Jason Bernstein.
Yeah, I was out there and watched that, Mark, and he finally set up that turn 4 just perfectly. Got a little bit of a run under Jason Bernstein, and Bernstein, being the veteran ARCA sim racer that he is, just let him go and got back in line. Dan White had a moment there where he thought about trying to make a move on Bernstein, but Bernstein was just able to hold him off on the high side there just enough, and we're back single file racing. But new leader, Jason Higgy.
Yeah, Jason Higgy, we called it. He was setting him up on that turn 4, and he set him up, and he was really patient. He didn't bump him. He just out-muscled him and put that Chevrolet up front. And so hands down to him, he's really showed some muscle the last 2 races. And while we continue to watch these guys battle on, I'm going to go back and talk about that points battle. You know, 4 points difference between first and second. Ben Bando, our leader, is running 14th. Paul Conway is running 16th. So these guys are buried pretty much down in the field, and they're going to be right in the mix of things. So it's definitely going to be survival till they can get some track position, David.
Oh, no question. You know, and these guys know it's a long race. As following back here towards the back part of this top 10 again, my teammate when I'm in the car, Travis Monet, sitting here kind of stuck on that outside line. Like I said, this is a one-groove racetrack, so you get out there and you're going to get freight train. And right now it looks like that's what's happening to him, as he's now fallen to 10th place, and maybe we'll get a hole right here in front of that number 24, Steve Rosner.
Yeah, it looks like his car's really tight here early on. It looks like he's kind of struggling a little bit on the exit and through the middle of the corner, so you'll probably see some adjustments first time he comes by, and I'm sure you'll be hollering down when you get your break down at the crew chief, telling him to fix that race car and get your man up front.
Oh, absolutely. But as you know, oh wow, as we just about had a big wreck. Jason Higgy got all kinds of loose coming up off of turn 2 and checked up the leaders behind him, and Bernstein got into the back of him. Fortunately, nobody wrecked, but it cost Bernstein another position. And Dan White's now your leader with Chris Wilson sitting in second.
Yeah, Chris Wilson, he's moving right on up there, and he's sitting, I think, 4th in points. But he's definitely not in reach of a championship, but every point matters. You know, he's definitely in contention for that 3rd spot, which Hal Beardworth is currently running. His team is in the 3rd position in the points. But, yeah, definitely I was not paying attention to that, but Higgy did drop back to lose 3 spots on that. So maybe just lost a little bit of concentration there and got her loose, but at least he saved it, and he can gain it back. He's really got a fast car, so I'll look to see him back battling for that top spot again later on tonight.
Very likely. One of the characteristics of this track is that it can be very, very tight right through the center of the corner, and then it'll be loose. As Higgy, I'm watching here, just spins it out and cautions out. Takes a little bit of damage, it looks like, on the front of that car as he spins it out. John, did you get the replay on that?
I'm queuing it up now, guys. See what happened. Like you said, he's getting looser and looser. This is a guy that's been out of sim racing for quite some time, and he's trying to get back in it, and he was really, really fast when he set the wheel down for a few months here. But Jason Higgy's just going to get loose, I believe, coming in the corner, and I'm seeing some brake issues coming out of him right before he's coming into the corner the last few rounds around this track, and he's going to get loose, and he's not going to take much damage here, guys. He barely misses the wall.
Yeah, definitely seen a lot of damage on the right side of these race cars, and that's good for him, you know. But, you know, they can beat and bang these cars a little bit and still be fast. But, you know, the aerodynamics with it being a half-mile track, it's really all about horsepower and skill behind the wheel here tonight. So, you know, these guys are going to bang and they're going to bend fenders, and a lot of these cars are going to be scrapped after tonight. But I think it's going to be an expensive night for these drivers. And
lead cars only.
You know, as we approach pit road, I got word that these guys could get 65 laps on a set of tires and 75 laps of fuel, and track position important. We think we have anybody stay out or pit?
I think you're going to see just about everybody make their pit stop right here, Mark. It's been 25 laps since they had tires. These guys, a lot of them, this was the first time they've really put these cars in positions where they were running with traffic. So a lot of them are going to have some adjustments to make. And, I see a couple of guys here that at the back part of the track that are going to stay out. I believe I saw Chris Walker, Hollis Vanderloon, Joe DePino, and a couple other guys maybe stay out. But everybody else came down. Definitely going to take 4 tires, make their adjustments, and go back to racing when they get done with it.
Okay, pits are up for all cars. Yeah, Chris Walker stayed out, and he's got Hollis Vanderloon, which is an open speedway buddy of his, and I'm good friends with both of those guys. And I'm sure Chris is staying out to get 5 points, and Chris Walker, he's definitely a pit guy, and as I say that, he ducks down pit road, and he's like Jeff Gordon. He loves 4 fresh good or Hoosiers, and he likes to have them fresh shoes up underneath that race car. So definitely a points move there, and get his 5 bonus points, and now go get 4 fresh tires, make some adjustments, and work on moving through the pack. So we got 26 laps down. We're getting ready to go back to green. 26 out of 200 laps complete tonight, and not a lot of action, a self-spin, so pretty calm race tonight.
And guys, down from pit road, Sean Brown, that was actually your guy coming off pit road first, which couldn't get in his box, so you've seen him come back down pit road. And it's going to put him all the way to the tail end of the lead lap here, guys.
Oh, that's tough, John. That's real tough. Good letting us know there, so now we know what happened to him, but I don't think this is a racetrack you want that to happen, and but it's a tough pit road. I know, when I've pitted here, it's tough and it's close. These pit stalls ain't very big, so don't look for him to be the only one to make that mistake tonight.
No, not at all. And the thing about it is, if anybody that can make their way back through this field and be there at the end of the race, Sean Brown's one of those guys that's very, very consistent and just, won't abuse his equipment, and as such will be there at the race when some of the other guys won't. I did want to make mention that that first pit stall worked out well for Jason Burstein, as he was able to pick up a position and work his way back up into second place. Dan White held serve on that pit stop, and Chris Wilson's third, and fourth is Hal Birdsworth, and fifth is Frankie Cemento, as we're just got the one to go to before we get to the green flag here, Mark.
Yeah, 1 to go, and it's back to good short track racing, and top 5 definitely were some of the faster guys in practice, and these some of your points contenders. And Ben Bando, our points leader, still sitting back in 11th spot, and Paul Conway in 14th. So these guys may have not have nailed that short track setup this week, and they might need to work on that program. But we'll see. They may just be saving their stuff. So we get the coming around the green right here, boys.
Yeah, Mark, you're talking about Paul Conway. I know I watched him in practice, and he ran a lot of laps. He was set up for the long run, so if we can get some longer green flag runs here, he may be able to go as we're getting the green flag here. Dan White's going to bring him down. Jason Burstein hot on his heels here as he actually getting a little room, but got Chris Wilson here. Everybody pretty much single file. Nobody really tried to make a move there on the restart. Good smart heads up driving here. Let the tires come up to temperature before they get to race and see what the car's going to do, and then go after it here in about 5 laps.
Yeah, Paul Conway did an awesome job right there. Is the Elite Sim Racing TV car got into the back of him in the corner and gave him a little business, but he was able to hold on to it, and Hollis Vanderloon had a good shot of that as he stuck on the outside right here, and need to scroll my scroller back and get a name on that. And Mr. Hinkle, that's who it was that got in the back of him, and he's stuck on the outside, and he's getting freight trained to the inside, and they're just going to leave him out there, and he'll duck right here behind Hollis Vanderloon. And Sean Brown, he moved up 2 spots after starting dead last right there, so he's moving through the field. And leader still Dan White, and 32 laps of 200 complete. Dan, pretty subtle race here, buddy.
Oh, yeah, everybody's doing a great job. Dan White's definitely going to be one of the guys you're going to have to pay attention to tonight. There was never any question about that. You get these kind of racetracks where it's a lot of driver skill, a lot of patience, a lot of discipline to hit your marks lap after lap after lap, and Dan White is one of the best at it, and he's showing why tonight. I mean, this is by far the largest lead that any leader has had yet tonight. Granted, we're only 35 laps into it, but he's put about 7/10 on the field right now, which, like I said, is by far the largest gap. And now we've got a pretty good gap from third back to fourth. So the second and third place cars of Jason Bernstein and Chris Wilson have got a little bit of a race going on here. So we got caution on the speedway again.
Okay, the leader just took the yellow.
Well, as John searches for our caution to see who it was and who brought it out, and he'll cue it up on our replay for us and give us the breakdown of what happened right there.
Looks like it's going to be around David's sponsored ride, Travis Monet. You're hearing a lot of background from the spotters here. Looks like he's trying to make a move around Ben Bando. Makes contact with Bando. Bando's going to take a hard lick. Also hits his teammate Paul Conway. So both them cars are both going to have significant damage here. But it looks like he just tries to make a move around Ben Bando in that 51 car, guys. Make slight contact with him, and they all collide here on the backstretch.
Yeah, we talked about them two guys leading the points, and you know, they say another one's misfortune is another one's fortune. But tonight, you know, about time Paul Conway probably saw the contact with Ben Bando and thought it was going to be a good night for him. He got collected up in it too, so not a good race start for our points leaders right now. I don't think we'll see too many guys pit this time by. Well,
I'm sitting here watching, and believe it or not, a little bit of a fake there by Dan White, and actually looks like just about everybody's staying out here, at least for the first half of the field. We'll look to see if anybody comes in on the back half of this field. But I tell you, Dan, Jason, and Chris Wilson did a great job of trying to fake the rest of the field out there, Mark.
Yeah, this you know, these guys, I mean, they're going to do what the leader does. I think you got to. I mean, if you duck in, you're sitting second place and the leader stays out, half the field's going to stay out with them, and I think that's pretty much the leader's going to set the pace for pit road tonight. Alright guys, pit road is, cautions are complete, or not the cautions, but pit stops are done. We're cruising around on the pace laps, and we're going to take us a commercial break and get us some fresh drinks and snacks here in the ETV booth.
ARCA League Manager, the best online points and stats management program, features an easy-to-use interface that delivers clean results. List your drivers and stats, create virtual paydays, track incidents and penalties, and more. You'll have access to your stats with a private login, where you'll be able to customize your points and statistics according to your league's criteria. After you upload your data, post the results on your league site, including schedules, standings, and points, and more. ARCA League Manager, serving over 70 leagues, including Elite Sim Racing, ARCA Sim Racing Club, White Knuckle Racing, the Charity Racing Group, Speedy League, Big Red Racing, and many, many more. ARCA League Manager comes in two affordable versions for your convenience. Professional version, complete statistics at $15 a month, or a basic version with drivers and stats at $10 a month. Get on board with Timothy St. John at www.arcalm.com. That's arcalm.com, the best league stats software around.
Welcome back, race fans. We are coming to conclusion under a caution. We've had 2 cautions tonight, 4 cars involved, 40 laps of 200 complete.
Okay, we're going back to green.
Getting one to go from the ARCA officials right now. Dan White will bring them to the green with our pole sitter Jason Bernstein running second. Number 84, Chris Wilson in the Elite Sim Racing Chevrolet. Take the 3rd spot. Hal Beersworth in number 3 be rolling off 4th, and Frank Samato be he'll be occupying the 5th spot. So that's your top 5 as we get ready to come back to green. And Dan, we're back, and what do you think? You think these guys are going to settle in and just keep doing what they're doing?
I think you will here for at least another 100 laps or better, as they're, like you said, they're coming to the green flag here. Jason Higgy, one of the guys that was fast early on, is getting longest line penalties, so he's going to the field as we got the green flag out. Jason Burstein looks like he may have gotten a little bit better restart this time. He's going to keep right with Dan White right at the moment, coming off of turn 2, right on his bumper. Doing a much better job on that restart. I'll be interested to see if Dan continues to pull away like he did on that last restart. But the top 3 have kind of pulled away from Hal Beardsworth here a little bit, and sure enough, Dan White pulls a couple of car lengths there through turns 1 and 2 on the second lap. So he's definitely motoring away from these guys. Definitely got a good setup, which is pretty much what we kind of have come to expect out of him.
Yeah, he pulled away to 2/10 lead, had it up to a 3/10, and then Bernstein brought it back down to 2. But he looks like he's going to be the man to beat tonight from what I've seen tonight. But Bernstein, he may just be sitting back saving his stuff, because I know he was running about a 1/10 or 2/10 faster than what he's running on the racetrack right now in practice. So, you know, maybe he's set up for the long run, or he's just set himself up for the long run.
I think what you're seeing out of Jason tonight is a little bit of that time away, a little bit of that rust that he was talking about. You know, most people wouldn't say, you know, running second right now is showing a lot of rust, but for Jason Burstein, you know, he's used to being up front. He's used to leading laps. He's used to winning. Running second is not what he's known for. He's known for getting out there, leading laps and dominating races. So running second right now, especially with Dan White pulling away, tells me that Jason's still trying to get a feel for the car, get used to what it's going to do and what's happening on the racetrack a little bit, and, you know, give him another, like I said, 100 laps when everybody starts to go back to racing, and he's going to be in pretty good shape. Right now he's gotten a fair amount of pressure back there from Chris Wilson, but these two guys have driven a lot of laps together, so we don't have to, I really don't think we're going to have to worry about Chris Wilson making a mistake and getting into the back of Burstein. And you know, if he starts pressuring him too hard, I'm sure Burstein will give him some room and let him go at this point in the race.
Yeah, definitely a lot of courtesy and a lot of give and take on the racetrack tonight. You know, Sean Brown, we talked about him. You said how he would definitely be back in the mix of things, as he had restarted back in the
all right, yellow flag, back it down.
20th position. He's back up top 12, and
Like
we got one in the wall. Mr. Riddle's in the wall. John, you want to try to give us a replay on that? Because I was busy watching this true gravity art design with Sean Brown moving through the field.
Queuing it up now, guys. See if we can see what happened here. Jason really looks like he's fighting here with the 72 of Rob Cobb. Sorry for Rob, but he's trying to get underneath Rob Cobb here, and he just pinched it down a little bit too much, I think, here, guys. And he tries to stay off Rob Cobb and just loops that car around. And he's going to take a pretty good lick here.
Yeah, John, what I could see, what I saw on the racetrack, I saw him pulling the front end of that car off that outside wall, and it definitely, I didn't see any fluid or anything from the track, so he may be able to carry on. And like I said, these guys can beat these cars down pretty good and still run competitively, but you're still going to get the pushes and the toe ends knocked out and stuff like that, so they'll definitely have to work on that race car throughout the rest of the race if he wants to have a good finish.
Lead cars on.
Now, the problem with these guys coming in on braking here is they're running their brake by so far back, or so far forward, I should say, to kind of get the car to turn. Is sometimes if you get it in a bind there and hit your brake just a little bit too hard, the old butt of that car will just slide right around, won't they, Bess?
Oh, yeah, we got, watching pit road here, it looks like third place, Chris Wilson's going to come in, but it looks like he's going to be a lonely man, except I do see a few more cars coming back here, but Frank Samanto and a few of the other guys look like they're going to come in, but a good number of these guys go ahead and stay out, which I am a little surprised at this point. We're about 53 laps out of a 200-lap race into it. I would have expected maybe these guys to come in, make another small change, and then be prepared to really run a full fuel and tire run on these things. But I guess right now track position's more important, as we got Sean Brown sitting up here in fourth place right now, guys.
You got Sean Brown, he's up there in the fourth spot. You know, these guys, you know, a lot of these guys are staying out for points, and a lot of these guys need to get some TV time for their sponsors, because the sponsors are what get these guys to the racetracks. And you know, we'll get a couple of them out here with Dan White and that Gorilla Customs card, and you got Mr. Bernstein and his 00 ARCA game car. So just a little sponsor, and you got Hal Beardsworth, who's in the Westchester Truck Repair Chevrolet, and Sean Brown and his True Gravity Art Designs Chevrolet. Ben Bando, another Westchester Truck Supply Toyota Camry, and Chris Walker in that Open Speedway Chevrolet. Running up good, running up front. You know, Chris Walker, that's good to see him up front. He's a guy that's had a little bit of a struggling season and had some bad luck, some great race cars. Last week, the crew chief didn't get the setup in his car right, so he struggled last week, but he still managed to have a top 15 finish. So Chris Walker, it's good to see him up here. Travis Monet, we can't forget him, David, in that Lucky Dog Chevrolet. He's running up there in the 7th spot. Chris Wilson in the Elite Sim Racing Chevrolet. He's running in the 8th spot. 9th spot, we got, this is a ETV, fancy looking car. Did I paint that fancy looking thing, man? But that number 62 with Mr. Gabaldon. Danny Gabaldon, I think. Frankie Smato in that MVG Toyota Camry, bright green, top 10, and we can get Paul Conway in that. Got a lot of front end damage on that car, but he's another True Gravity Art Designs racer. So we'll get some more of these sponsors in throughout the race. That's your top 10. We're getting ready to go back to green. Dan White's going to bring him to the checker, David.
Yeah, well, I'm watching here, guys, and we got a little bit of strategy starting to play out. The top 7 cars stayed out on the racetrack. The remainder of the cars actually came down and put tires on. So now we're starting to see the pit strategy start to play a role in this thing as we're getting ready to go to green flag race. And it's going to be interesting to see how these guys back here in the back of the pack with Chris Wilson and Danny Gabaldon, some of these guys that were up towards the front, how well they're able to get back through this field and see what they can do with them. You know, the first couple cars probably be pretty easy. As we get the green flag here, Dan White hits the gas and just does a great job of getting away from Jason Burstein a little bit. Burstein does a good job of getting away from Hal Beardsworth. So now we're going to see, you know, without Chris Wilson back there to kind of bother Jason Burstein a little bit, we'll see if he's able to stick with Dan White. Is these guys have pretty much been able to pull away from Hal Beardsworth on every single restart so far tonight. So I wouldn't expect anything different. Jason Burstein get awfully close to that wall coming up off of turn 2.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing his race car. He might be getting a little frustrated behind the wheel with Dan White doing such a fantastic job on that number 06 Toyota Camry running good. I hope I got that right for the manufacturers out there, but I think that's a Toyota Camry. And but Jason Bernstein, he's kind of settled in. I think he's kind of met his match tonight. And watching the caution's out. Let's see if we can catch see what's going on here. I don't see no smoke or anybody in the wall. Did you see what happened down there, John?
Okay, the leader just took the.
Yeah, it looks like road went around here, guys. I'm gonna try and cue it up on ETV replay.
Yeah, Dan White catches up to the pace car, and while he gets ready to cue that replay up, just let this field settle in and get the guys get sorted out. How about you, John? You got that thing ready for it, bub?
Yeah, it looks like he just got loose on his own here, right behind. I believe that's Hollis Vanderloon right behind him here, guys. I could be mistaken, but he's just going to loop it on his own, come down in the infield. He's going to miss that inside wall there on the entry of pit road, and he's just going to lose a little bit of Hoosier tire, a little bit of pride here, guys.
Yeah, a little bit of pride. That's it, man. Lost a little skill behind the wheel right there. Just had a little malfunction with the gas. But I've been watching, and when we go to green on fresh green tires, I'm seeing a lot of front brake rotors, and then later on in the run, I'm starting to see all 4 tires glowing really good. So I think these guys are moving that brake bias to the rear to loosen that car up on entry, and I think that's where some of the guys are running into trouble.
Yeah, that's a good point, Mark, and that's something I've noticed myself as we're getting ready to hit pit road again. Maybe a couple of guys, Burstein and Hal Beardsworth, faked it a little bit there, so they're still not come back down pit road. I think the only guy that may come down on this particular stop is going to be that number 19 of Roden, who brought out the yellow flag there, Mark.
Yeah, I think we got Ben Bando dialed in here. Ben Bando, Mark Bratcher in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
All right, Ben, you kind of rode in the back a little bit, had a little bit of contact on the racetrack. You've managed to get that number 51 car up in the 5th position. Has it been a struggle out there for you tonight?
Yeah, I wrecked it out of 4 in Q and started in the back and just waiting for those long runs, you know, kind of just driving to 3s and 4s and stuff, trying to take care of my stuff. And that one time, I think whoever was behind me, he overdrove the corner and got me. I don't have a whole lot of damage, but I pit there and I had a couple laps better tires, so I decided to stay out that last time, and it gave me some spots. So let's see if I can stay up here in the top 5 and not lose spots.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough night for you. We're glad to see you up in the 5th spot, and you and Paul Conway both got caught up in that wreck. It doesn't seem like you two can be separated on the racetrack.
Yeah. My goal pretty much for this race is just to finish ahead of him and gain points. I don't think I got the car to win, or I'm not too good at this track, so just trying to get this race done with.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go, and we won't bother you and let you talk to your crew chief and get things settled in. And that's Ben Bando running 5th in that Westchester truck repair. Our current points leader by 4 points over Paul Conway. Not the car to... He says he ain't got the car to win tonight, guys. What do you think? You think he's throwing a bluff out there?
If anybody can pull something off, it's going to be one of those two guys, Paul Conway or Ben Bando. These guys are pretty much strong every race they come to, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them pull something off here at the end of the race, Mark. But, you know, that's going to be one of the things we have to kind of watch out and see. You know, a lot of these guys, we're not really seeing who's going to be fast at the end of this race. You know, we've seen the guys that are dominating right now, but as these races go along, especially short track races, for some reason it seems like, you know, we get down to about, you know, 75% of the race complete, 150 laps out of this one, and all of a sudden we got a whole new crew of people up front that are actually going to be running for the, you know, running for the actual win instead of the guys that were up front all night long, you know. So it's going to be fun to watch. We just got the one to go here, so they're going to be coming to the green flag here in just a couple of seconds here, Mark.
Yeah, Dan White's going to bring us back to a green tonight. He's led the most laps so far tonight with 66 of 200 laps complete. The pace car's getting ready to peel off. Dan White's getting the old rubber burn off them tires and clearing that carburetor, and looks like Bernstein's going to lay back a little bit and try to get a run on him right here.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me here as pace car peels off and Dan White and the rest of the crew hit the gas here. It looks like Dan kind of even planned that a little better than Bernstein did. Bernstein kind of held back a little bit, but still wasn't able to really move anything with it, as they're now, you know, single file here. As we got a spin coming in through the corner here. I'm not sure who that was. I saw in the back there. It looks like maybe a couple more cars involved. Mark, did you happen to see who that was?
No, I'm scrolling through the field. I see Rob Cobb off the pace, and I think it's David Gabaldon. I seen him off the pace. John, you got an ETV replay for us? I don't see a lot of damage, but Rob Cobb has a tire down, so he's definitely involved. That car is on the racetrack.
I'm queuing it up on the E-play now, guys. Here, see we can see what happened. It looked like it was actually the 24 Rosner right in front of them. I believe there's a self-spin here and make contact, and let's see what happens here. It looks like the 24 Rosner is going to make contact with Danny Gabaldon. I believe that's his. Yeah, that's Danny Gabaldon there. See if I can reverse this a little bit more, see if we can give our race fans a little better look at this. But it looks like Rosner's going to come in there just a little bit too hot, guys. He's going to give the bumper to the 62 Danny Gabaldon. Danny Gabaldon's going to slide up top. And then he's going to, the 24 Rosner gets a hard lick from Rob Cobb there. Both them cars are going to take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm watching Rob Cobb try to get his Burt Software Chevrolet in the pit road, and I think he's tore it up 3 times worse trying to get it in. He's got 2 flat right front tires and cannot turn that car, and him and the 24 both almost caused another caution under caution. Both of them had tires down, and it looks like they were racing each other, and the 24 stayed on the lead lap, and I think that's what he was trying to do. So he'll come in and pit around, but Rob Cobb, he's in pit road now, getting 4 fresh tires, and they're beating and banging on that race car, getting it set, and But he'll start at the end of the longest line, I'm sure, right here for pitting a little early.
And these leaders are having a hard time getting around. Burstein's here in the lead, trying to get around these guys that are smoking and tires rubbing and trying to make contact. He's going to drive right in front of, I believe that's the 65 is Sean Brown. He almost makes contact with Rob Cobb, trying to make it down on pit road.
Yeah, they definitely decorated this racetrack with skid marks all the way around it, and definitely set a line for some of these drivers that are struggling to help them get it through the corners with them skid marks. And
okay, we're going back to green.
Looks like our leader's gonna,
cars on the inside.
Dan White, looks like he's gonna come down pit road, and he's gonna be solo. He's gonna be all by himself.
I'm a little surprised by this move here. Whoa, Sean Brown just lost it coming to the green. I'm not sure, or as we're getting the one to go, I'm not sure what happened right there. He just spun out. I'm not sure if he got tapped or what happened, but Jason Burstein's inherited the lead right at the moment, and we're going to see see what he can do, if he can pull away from Hal Beardsworth or not on those old tires. It may be a little bit of a plan by Dan White to come down and get the tires as we're getting the one to go. They're going to be taking the green flag here momentarily, get tires, and maybe stay out and see what he can do with them later. As Burstein's going to take him to the green flag here. Gets a good jump there on Hal Beardsworth. It's going to lead him by several car lengths getting down into turn 1 and coming up through turn 2, coming out of the backstretch. I mean, he's got almost a half the backstretch lead on Hal Beardsworth already, so that car's definitely strong, and when he's not worried about somebody else, he's able to put some distance on him pretty quickly there, Mark.
Yeah, guys, from pit road, that 65 of Sean Brown had some wiring problem inside his car and caused him to warp out there and come back right in front of a couple cars, and that's why you seen him spin around.
That's definitely what we got going on there, but I'll tell you what's going on here, and that's a check out by 0.7 of a second over second place of Hal Beardsworth to Jason Bernstein in that number 64 Chevrolet. He's running off with the lead, and Sean Brown running third, had a little electrical issue, switched them ignition switches, and he's back to running good. And Hal Beardsworth here for the first time has been able to kind of step away. He's definitely looked like he's got a top 5 race car. I don't know if he's got anything for them, Dan White or Jason Bernstein, because them two cars have pulled away from him all night long, but, give him a few adjustments and he might be able to run up there with them. A little further back, we got Hollis Vanderloons has worked his way up in top 10. Paul Conway, he's worked his way into the top 10. Some of the guys we haven't talked about. Higgy, good recovery from his spin early in the race. He's worked his way back up into the 7th spot. Mr. Hinkle with a little bit of bump and grind earlier, he's up in the 12th spot. So some of the guys that had some problems, Chris Walker, as I talk about him, I gave him the hex as he caught the apron and spun out right there. He just got his left sides in the grass a little bit and spun, and he's going to get it straightened out right here, and no damage, no foul. If you want to cue that up for our fans there, John.
Queuing it up now, guys. See if we can see what happened here. I'm still trying to figure out, guys, how Dan White got a lap down here.
Yeah, John, he actually pitted as they were getting the one to go there, and I think he may not have been able to make it back off of pit road in time.
As you said, I'm queuing this up on the ETV replay, and it looks like Chris Wilson's actually going to give him just a little bit of bump to the center of the corner, which throws him down on the apron line, which thus makes him spin right about the same place our last caution was, right on that little concrete spot there where the cars parked their car, and he's going to try and get it turned around here, and almost nails the outside wall, Dave Bass.
Yeah, that was close by him, and we were just talking about that number 06, Dan White, and it looks like he got the lucky dog, so he's going to be back on the lead lap, and he's going to be wanting to make a march to the front.
Lead cars only.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to hear it through the scanner now, David Bass. See, something about he was the leader and he pitted, and it just gave him a lap down, so I'm not quite sure what happened. Maybe we can get him in the booth here and find out exactly what happened.
Yeah, his cars are piling in on pit road right now. Looks like Chris Walker, of course, he's going to spin because I'm sure he flat spotted them tires on that spin, and got a lot of takers on pit road, David, this time.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have only been on that first caution flag. We've got Jason Burstein came down. Looks like just about everybody that didn't come down on that. The top 7 that stayed out the time before definitely came down, and a couple other cars did as well as they came down as well. So a little bit of pit strategy playing out, kind of what we expected to see here a little bit. Burstein's going to come out. Looks like he's going to be in 8th place here, so he's definitely going to have a pretty good run here to get back to the front, as we got a couple of lap down cars now look like they're going to be heading off to pit road themselves now. Rob Cobb and Joe DePino, I believe, are the 2 that I'm seeing down on pit road now.
Yeah, I'm going to dial the radio in, see if I can get Dan White on his radio and see what was going on there. Dan White, Mark Bratcher here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, buddy, man, you throwed us for a little loop there, man. You got the, looks like a dominant race car tonight. That thing looks like it's on rails, and a last-minute decision to go in pit road, buddy. Was that planned or last-minute thing called by the crew chief?
No, that's, I think the ARC officials are drunk or something, because they kept telling, I was the leader, and they kept telling me I was ahead of the car, I should have been behind, and then I said the heck with it, and I didn't want to get a penalty, so I went ahead and went in the pits, and somehow or other the ARC officials didn't like that either, so they put me a lap down, so here I am. But a quick caution there, those guys had stayed out for a long time, and I'm back up in 6th position, so I got fresh tires.
Yeah, you look good, man. I think you definitely recovered from it. You had to go over to the ARCA trailer and get an explanation for that, and cause we don't have one here for you in the booth that we could help you out, but I'm definitely sure we'll see you in that ARCA official trailer afterwards, and you look good, man. The car's strong, and good luck, buddy. We're going to let you get back to racing here.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got a great car. Just so the viewers know, it's a Hal Bearsworth special.
Okay, we're going back to green next time. Bye.
Well, there you have it, guys. The Hal Bearsworth special. We get the white flag, 1 to go. Guys are getting ready to go back to green. We'll see if Dan White can bring that Gorilla Customs car back to the front. And Frankie Simano, new leader here with 85 of 200 laps to go. Hollis Vanderloon 2nd, Roden 3rd, Travis Monet in the 4th spot. He's been the first time he's been up that far. Dan White in the 5th spot, and then Jason Bernstein was race leader in the 6th spot. So got a couple fast guys sitting back there in 5th and 6th spot. And you think track position is going to play off for these guys, David?
I think this close to the front, these guys will be able to make their way through here pretty quickly. We just saw Chris Wilson get the longest line penalty that's required by ARCA here. So we get the green flag. Frankie Simonto gets a decent jump here on Hollis Vanderloon, but Hollis Vanderloon looked like he was going to try to do something there on the restart, but Frankie got a great start there and was able to keep him back there, and now we're going to see what Hollis can do here on a little bit longer run, as he's pulled away from Dale Roden here pretty good, and Travis Monet's sitting back there, and he's managing to hold his position here pretty good, although it looks like Dan White's going to get the position on him, move him up, and here, wow.
A little business
got close there.
Hell yeah, it looked like Dan White gave Travis Monet a little bit of business on the exit of the corner right there. I guess he wants that spot, and look at it get a little close right here too. He's all on the back bumper, and it looked like got him a little loose right there too. So maybe not happy with Travis Monet right now.
I don't have any doubt that Travis is holding Dan up just a little bit here. He's a little bit older tires, maybe not quite as good a car as Dan's got, and unfortunately at this kind of a racetrack you can hold somebody up for a long time that way here. As it looks like Dan may finally get a run underneath the Travis here and be able to get by him as he finally shuffles him to the outside. Doesn't give him much quarter coming through the corner, but man, Jason wasn't close enough there to do anything with it, and so Travis was able to slide back down here into 5th place. This would be just an outstanding run for Lucky Dog Racing if they're able to keep this up here. And what I'm seeing of this car looks like it's able to actually keep up the pace here pretty good with these guys on fresher tires a little bit. So we'll see what we can do if we can ever get these guys all on equal tires.
Yeah, definitely, with all the different tire strategy, it looks like Travis Monet wasn't too happy with Dan White right there. It looked like he was driving that car kind of hard, but Dan White was able to pull away. But good run for that Lucky Dogs Chevrolet so far, and it looks like the Jason Bernstein's trying to target that 48 Chevrolet. See, peeks to the inside right here. He wants that spot. He don't want Dan White to get too far ahead of him, and they bang doors, and and he's sideways. Contact.
How did they not wreck? How did they not wreck right there, guys?
Man, that was some awesome driving, man. That was more business than I think the businessman could have brought himself.
Yeah, I'm queuing this back up on the E-Play, guys. That just shows the talent of Jason Burstein. He had that car plumb sideways, and somehow he gets straightened back out here.
Yeah, them guys were 4 wide, 4 or 5 wide, man. There was definitely contact, but Jason Bernstein, he was definitely able to hold on to that car. That was awesome job driving. That's determination behind the wheel right there, guys.
Yeah, that's the kind of driver, the caliber of driver that Jason Bernstein is. I mean, there's not many guys that can take a 7-8 month break from racing and come back and be this competitive this quickly. He's probably not going to be real happy with Travis, and he's going to take every opportunity here to make that displeasure known and make sure he gets by him here pretty quickly. I just hope he doesn't. He uses his head here a little bit.
Yeah, the Travis Monet is not giving a whole lot of room when these guys get under him. He's really crowding them to the center of the corners. You're seeing it go on again here, guys. Because Bernstein, I don't think, is very happy with Travis Monet at this point. And finally, he shuffles them all the way to the outside and can make the move.
Yeah, tempers are going to flare at this racetrack. I mean, short track equals short tempers. And, it's really, really hot in them race cars. They're it's about 120 degrees is up here in the front as I watch Frankie Simano and Hollis Vanderloon battle out for the lead. Looks like Hollis Vanderloon might be steaming under the helmet a little bit as he gave Frankie Simano a little bit of business through the turns 3 and 4 last time by. We've got a caution out, guys.
Okay, the leader.
Trying to scroll back and see who's spun on the racetrack.
Looks like Chris Walker's kind of off pace here. See if I can cue this up, see if I can figure out what happened here. Queuing it up now. I'm not even quite sure if this is Chris Walker, guys, but I did kind of see him off pace here. I sure wish I had 17 cameramen like ESPN have, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to help you out, John. I'm going back on the film and see if I can't see what happened here, and I got my eyes on the 71 of Chris Walker here too, and see if I can't see what happened.
I see a lot of smoke, guys, but I'm hearing the O2 of Higgy. So let's see if we can rewind here. That's one thing we do have in our sim is a rewind button, and you're exactly right. He tries to pinch down Travis Monet. Travis Monet seems to be getting a lot of action here tonight. As Higgy's going to slide up. He doesn't quite make contact, but that brake bias is going to spin that car around, guys. He's going to go around the outside wall, and I believe that's going to be number 2 for him tonight, and I believe he's going to have to put that on the red trailer.
Yeah, the ARC officials here, if you bring out two cautions, they park you. They don't tolerate a lot of spinning and wrecking. They like the fans to get their money's worth on the green flag racing. So unfortunately for that number 2, No Fear Chevrolet, it might be the end of the night for him. And so we'll see what the ARC officials do. I'm not going to make the call in the booth. I'm just going to say what we ought to see.
Yeah, as we see most of the cars come down on pit road now this time, everybody kind of getting back on the same tire strategy, same pit strategy right now. As we're now 103 laps out of 200 laps into this race, so he's done a good job here.
Yeah, and one thing that we need to look at right here is Paul Conway staying out. I don't know if he's staying out just to get 5 bonus point, or get his bonus point for leading the lap to close it out, but he might be staying out trying to get a little track position because he didn't hit pit road that time either, guys. I'm going to dial in the radio. I'm going to see if I can't get in touch with Chris Walker out there on the racetrack. Chris Walker, Mark Hollywood Bratcher up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, Mark, what's up there, bro?
Oh, not a whole lot, buddy. He had that 71 Open Speedway Chevrolet up in top 5, and looks like you might have got on the grass a little bit. And what happened there, bud? Just a little bit of talent going out the window right there, buddy?
Oh, it was a little close racing up there, and Just got tapped a little bit, but then tried to save it and spun it around. But man, it looks like my brakes are shot here, so I think we're going to have to pull her in the garage. It's kind of a shame. The setup's been working pretty good tonight, but I think I'm going to have to call it tonight.
That's tough luck for you, Chris, man. I had just jinxed you because I was just talking about how good you were running up in the top 5, and about to say at the time I said Chris Walker, there you went. So I might have put the hex on you tonight, and maybe another night will get you. And there you have Chris Walker, guys, in the Open Speedway 71 Chevrolet. Brakes have failed, and they're pulling that one in the garage, guys.
Guys, I believe we found Sean Bickle finally. He went out after a gallon of milk about 2 hours ago, and he showed back up here in the booth. Did you take a wrong turn there, Sean Bickle?
Green.
Yeah, guys, I finally made it. It looks like they're going back green, but I'm in here, I guess, and so I'll catch the tail end of this thing, and good old internet provider let me down tonight, so we'll see. Well, I'll try to catch up, guys.
Yeah, all right, Sean, as we got Dan White restarted in the lead there, and he has pretty much just pulled away from the rest of these guys. So some of these guys that were lapped down are battling up here. And Frank Simondo sitting there in second right now, Jason Riddle third, Roden's in second, is in fourth here, and Jason Burstein's in fifth. So these guys are definitely getting after it here a little bit. I expect that until Burstein can get up there and get with Dan White. I think Dan's pretty much got this field covered right now. Hopefully Burstein can get up there and make this a race a little bit, because he's the only one that looks to me like he's been able to keep with Dan White there tonight, Mark.
Yeah, Dan White's been smoking. He's on it. He's got the rotors glowing, and he's got it move up front. He said he had the car to get back up front, and said he had a really good setup, and said it was a Hal Beardsworth special. So I'm assuming Hal Beardsworth got over there, and they shared a setup, and he's got that thing up front. I haven't seen anybody be able to do anything with him yet tonight.
Yeah, and we're seeing Burstein just took over fourth place from that 19 of Dale Roden, so he's making his way up there as well. So yeah, these guys have definitely been the class of the field so far tonight. I'm still kind of waiting to see here in about another 50 laps. We may start to see some guys make a way to the front of this field that haven't been up there all night, and see what they can do with these guys. A couple of these guys are pretty cagey about the way that they race these short tracks, and you won't see them until it's money time.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed tonight, though, is the leader has been able to pull away by half a second to 6/10. The leader's been able to do it tonight, and it seems like, even second and third place, I wouldn't want to think these guys are aero tight, or I wonder if these guys are just driving their cars too hard trying to catch that leader and allowing the leader to pull away. I don't know what's going on, but every time someone gets up front, they're able to pull away.
Yeah, there is a little bit of an aero push here. This track is just fast enough and just flat enough that there is just a little bit of an aerodynamic, if you will, problem being behind other cars. You're just not able to turn the car quite as well. But some of the faster cars are able to kind of push through that and get to the front. I'm expecting to see Burstein here in a few laps really start to make his way to the forward, but he's got a couple of really good cars here in front of him right now, sitting in second and third in that number 22 of Frank Simonto and Jason Riddle, who we saw involved in something a little earlier on, but he's sitting here in third place. He's been a driver that over the last 2 or 3 months has really come into his own here, and won a number of races for us there, Mark.
Yeah, definitely a good, a winning race car. Ben, talking about our race leaders, Ben Bando and Paul Conway. Paul Conway stayed out. He got that bonus point, so he was able to close that deficit down a little bit. And Ben Bando, I haven't seen him make that move, but he's running in the 7th position. And Paul Conway stayed out to lead a lap, and he's back in the 15th in a dangerous position. So different strategies between those two guys. They're battling on the racetrack for position, and also racing a championship for position too. So it's pretty interesting to watch these guys. Outside of that, I'm kind of watching the Dan White show tonight, guys.
Yeah, I'm watching here this Paul Conway, and just based on what I'm seeing of Paul, he's not really pushing his car right now. He's just kind of content to be riding where he is. Let the guys make the mistake, did make the move. try to save that car a little bit. You know, he's got some damage on it from that accident earlier on that was not of his own doing, but it'll be interesting to see if he's able to make his way forward. Otherwise, staying out lead a lap there under caution may have been a move of desperation, knowing just how bad his car was hurt in that accident that they were involved in, and it may have been the only way he could have found to try to stay in touch with Ben Bando for the championship.
Yeah, guys, either Paul Conway is really, really off here tonight at Toledo, or he's not giving us his full hand yet. He might be playing this out. I mean, we still got just a little bit less than 80 laps to go here yet. And he might just be, like you said, taking care of that car and going to try and make a charge for it here at the end.
Yeah, definitely. I was just thinking the same thing, John. You know, we've got 124 of 200 laps, which, you know, leaves us about 76 laps to go for 75 laps when they take the cross-start finish line this time. So, you know, definitely about time for some of these guys to start showing their cards, because these laps will wind down really quickly. And so definitely the guys that want to be up front, we should start seeing them make some pit strategy moves, maybe some two-tire stops to get that track position and challenge Dan White for the lead. Frankie Samanto, he's been able to hold. Jason Riddle, who was involved in an accident earlier tonight, he's muffled his way up to second spot. Jason Bernstein, he's, you know, led the first part of the race. He's sitting back there in the fourth position, and he had a little incident, so he's recovered well from it as well. David Roden, we haven't said much about him tonight in that Burt Software Chevrolet, and he's the run that got that Chevrolet up in the number 5 position. And Mr. Gabaldon, he struggled early on, and he's also in the ETV car, and he's running up in the 6th position. Ben Bando, a points leader, he's running in the 6th position, so he got in a little trouble earlier tonight, and he's battled back in the 7th position. Chris Wilson, you know, he was had to make that pit stop early on in the race, and he's battled it back to the 8th position. Hal Beardsworth, who's running the top 5 most of the night, he's in the 9th position. And Sean Brown, great recovery for him. He had to drop to the back of the field, or missed his pit stall and had to pit, you know, next time by and let the leaders go, and completely dropped back to the 20th position, and he's back up there in the 10th position. So top 10 guys, you know, guys that we've seen all night, and some guys that we haven't seen all night. So definitely some different strategies are playing out here, Dan.
Yeah, there's no question about that here. You know, Sean Bickle, you know, you've not been here much, you've not seen much of the race, but what have you seen? What do you think of what you've seen so far? You know, just from what you're seeing here.
Well, guys, yeah, I was really looking forward to being here for pre-race, and I was talking with Paul Conway, guys, on Monday, just in here on TeamSpeak, and, you know, last week, Hollywood, me and you talked about, it looks like Monet's up against the wall out there, but Hollywood, me and you talked about Paul Conway, Bando being such good friends, and I tell you what, he was telling me he's not wanting to share a whole lot of information with Ben Bando now. I think the pressure of this championship with only 2 races left after tonight is maybe catching up with the driver of that 13 car.
In here, yeah, definitely in practice, both of them guys were struggling a little bit, and you know, and then here at the end, you know, you saw Ben Bando, he kind of pulled through in practice, and he pulled up a top 10 position in practice. So definitely them guys can't be sharing, because you had one sitting in practice. You had Ben Bando was in the 5th position and practice, and Paul Conway was in the 22nd position. So definitely these guys are not sharing setups, and unfortunately they both got caught up in an accident at the same time, so they weren't able to capitalize. But Paul Conway has led 1 lap tonight, so he was able to close that 4-point deficit as of right now by 1 point. So where they finish on the racetrack, businessman Bickle, welcome back, you know, is going to be a big play handler, because these guys are really separated on the racetrack tonight.
Yeah, Paul Conway, he was really mired back in traffic there with Brian Pace and Jerry Hinkle, but he was patient and got around Brian Pace, and now he's kind of running by himself. But yeah, evidently I must have missed an earlier accident, obviously not being here. So because usually we're used to seeing that 13 car and that 51 car out front leading, But looks like Dan White's got the field covered tonight, Hollywood.
Yeah, Dan White has definitely been the driver of the race tonight. It's been the Dan White show. I don't know how many laps he's led tonight, but it is definitely a lot of laps, and nobody's been able to challenge him. Jason Bernstein set on the pole by a 10th over the field. Bernstein's worked his way back into second place. If he's able to catch Dan White right here, then we're going to see a race. But these two guys right here have definitely been the class of the field tonight, and if they stayed out of trouble, I knew they were going to be the ones to race for the win. If we get a late caution, it's definitely going to be exciting, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jason Bernstein looks like he's running Dan White down. Good to see Jason Bernstein out here in an ARCA car, guys. And you know, we talk about the pressure of a championship and it winding down here at the end of the season. And I tell you what, over at Elite Sim Racing, one of the most incredible points battles I had was with Jason Bernstein. And I tell you what, and Dan White just clobbered the wall, Hollywood, coming out at turn number 4 there.
Yeah, I think he was watching the rearview mirror and watching Bernstein right there close that door on him, and looks like he may have been watching the wall or pushing that car a little bit too hard, trying to keep the lead, and looks like Bernstein's going to challenge him right here, and he really closes in right here.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second right now, and it looks like Dan White's car may be fading away on him right now. Jason Bernstein closes right up onto his back bumper, crossing the line. And not sure how many laps we have left, guys. I got in here late, and maybe a caution out on the speedway, guys.
Looked like Brian Pace was around, Sean Bickle. I'm going to try and get this up on the e-play here. These tires are really starting to wear for these guys and really getting slippery or tight like you've seen Dan White. It looks like Brian Pace is right behind Paul Conway here, guys, and it looks like he might have caught a little bit of apron maybe coming off turn 4. No, actually turn 2, I believe. No, it was turn 4, sorry. And he's going to spin through the infield here, guys.
Alright, so caution on the speedway. It's like lap 146 at 200. And, not sure when these guys were on pit road last, Hollywood, but I would imagine
lead cars on.
About 50 or so laps to go. This might be the final stop of the night if it were to go green.
Well, these guys can get about 60, I'd say 60 laps of, if we were to go green, they can get, you know, they definitely have the fuel to go the whole way, but I don't know about the tires. Jason Bernstein and Dan White, Jason Bernstein pitted 1 or 2 laps after, so definitely you see them both peeling on pit road, getting on even tires here, and Dan White might be getting some of that damage, some of that door damage fixed on his car, so we don't get into a push, or car might have started pushing, might need to make some adjustments here to keep that car up front. But Jason Bernstein looks like he dialed in, saved his car, kept it clean all night, and looks like he's going for a win, Bub.
Yeah, Bernstein always fast, and
okay, pits are up.
Probably one of the best here at Toledo that I know of, and looks like he may have got the pole, as he is going to win the race off pit road. He's going to beat Jason Riddle, Frank Simonto, and then looks like Dave Roden there. Looks like he's finally having a good run, guys. That driver's been struggling all season since he stepped into that Burt Software Chevrolet, but I don't know, now everybody seems to be going around him there, so but I still need to get caught up here, Hollywood.
Yeah, you know, Dan White's been the show tonight. Frankie Simonto's run up really strong. We've had a couple good drivers get caught up. No real big cautions tonight, but we're going to catch you up a little bit and catch some of our viewers up that have just now joining us. I think we've had about 5 cautions. We had 2 drivers that lost their brakes, Hollis Vanderloon and Chris Walker, for all you Open Speedway and ARCA Sim Racing fans, and for all their sponsors, they had some brake failures, so they exited the race. But outside of that, we've had some really good clean racing, a lot of patience. Had Frankie, or not Frankie Simonto, but that Lucky Dog Chevrolet and Chris Wilson, they got into a little fender fuss and business going on right there, and he was kind of holding the field up. But outside of that, it's been pretty calm. I think they saved all the excitement for you, Mr. Sean, the businessman.
Fender fuss. That's a good one, JW. I like that. Well, hey,
heard that one before.
Yeah, I like Hollywood comes up with all these new little slogans, little sayings here. I like that. Well, hey, real quick, guys, I don't know if you all mentioned anything about this, and I want to make sure I get this in tonight about the to help Tyler win. Sign up for the Tyler Kissinger 125 over at ARCASimRacingClub.com. It's going to be 2 races. Race number 1 live on ETV Saturday, June 26th. Looks like they're lining up with the one to go, but it's $20 entry fee. All proceeds, donations will go to Tyler and his family. He was diagnosed with leukemia. He's 4 years old, and he's got a real fight on his hands getting ready to start, and that family's going to be going through some rough times. So let's come together as sim racers and have some fun. There's going to be prizes, donated prizes to the top 3, and 1 grand prize winner of a brand new G27 wheel, and Tyler is going to pick out the position that award's going to go to. So get over to ARCASimRacingClub.com, sign up for the Tyler Kissinger 125. Coming off turn 4, Jason Bursting takes the green flag, Hollywood.
Yeah, he takes the green flag and he pulls away. He sets a pace, and you watch Dan White as he jumps up under Frankie Simano and takes that position, and Frankie Simano is not going to be able to hold him on the high side. I haven't seen the high side hold up all night long. And you got Rob Cobb sitting up in there in that Burt Software Chevrolet up in the 3rd position, and Dan White cannot let that leader get out of his view right here, and you know, he needs to be patient and hit his marks right here if he wants to catch Jason Bernstein with that big lead.
Yeah, guys, word was at pit road, Dan White went ahead and fixed the damage. He had quite a bit of damage from smacking that outside wall, and he just wanted to, with 50 laps to go, we're under caution here yet again.
Yeah, John, looks like Joe the Hammer DePino went around, and he's sitting up against the wall. That might have been like a head-on collision coming out of turn number 4. So Joe DePino putting the hammer on the wall down there, JW.
Hey, looks like he's on the outside racing with 33 of Jerry Hinkle, that ETV machine. Rob Go, and he's just going to lose it right in front of Rob Cobb. Rob Cobb's almost airborne, guys, and he's going to come down and hit that wall hard, guys, and almost hit the cars that were parked over there that are out of the race.
Definitely told Sean they saved all the excitement for him. So here we go. The laps are winding down. The fender fuss is starting to begin, and flipping cars and in the airborne cars. So they got some wings now, Sean.
Yeah, absolutely. Business going to pick up here. It's only 45 laps to go, and laps click off pretty quick here at Toledo Speedway. But 2 more races to go tonight, and man, I tell you what, I was really looking forward to being here for this one. Glad I made the end of it at least, but really surprised with Paul Conway and Ben Bando. I guess their cars got pretty damaged on the accident they were in.
Yeah, that was Roden, not Rob Cobb, but he does go airborne. Both them front wheels get lifted off the ground as DePino in that 34 car just lose it right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, the damage definitely seems to be affecting these cars more than I thought it would, you know, with it being a short track. But Ben Bando and Paul Conway definitely didn't seem like they hit it off, you know, too early, and looked like they struggled, and they didn't roll off the trailer fast. So definitely whatever they get today, they earned today. And Dan White, I haven't seen his car act like that all night. I think that damage that you've seen him do, Sean, I think that might have took a toll on his car. I don't know if the crew got it quite fixed, but I think they're out of time here to get it fixed.
Well, I tell you what, this may shake things up, Hollywood. 2 races remaining. It's going to be in Texas next Wednesday night, and then the following Wednesday, championship night in Charlotte. So these guys are running back here in the danger zone, right in the heart of the pack. And now I tell you what, you know, if Paul was running in front of Ben, that'd be one thing. But Ben seems to somehow find a way to stay in front of his old buddy Paul Conway.
Yeah, well, Ben Bando told us in a interview early on night, his main focus tonight was just to stay in front of the number 13 of Paul Conway. He didn't care if it was 5th or 10th, as long as Paul Conway was 11th, 12th, or 13th. As we get the white flag, one to go. So Jason Bernstein's going to lead Jason Riddle and Dan White down to the green, and I'm going to let you call this one, John or Sean.
Absolutely, and we'll have David Bass, who filled in graciously for me tonight. Thank you, David Bass. He is going to be down on pit road, or maybe getting a car out there or something, doing some in-car reporting for us. He pulls up on the inside down there. So David Bass out of the booth into the car. He's going to line up inside of your leader.
First live in-car broadcaster at a race there, Sean Bickle.
Yeah, I assume we're going to be testing out some new things tonight. So crazy things happening here Wednesday night. The ASRC Elite Pro Series green flag back out. 158 to 200 laps. Jason Bernstein down into 1 and 2, gets a great jump car, looks great through 1 and 2. Riddle really lost a lot of time, and Bernstein has just hit the afterburners here at Hollywood.
Yeah, and we talked about it the other night. The leader has just been able to pull away all night long as Dan White goes up underneath Riddle and takes over the second position without, he took that with ease. So he's definitely got that target set on the leader of Jason Bernstein. Riddle doesn't lose too much time here, but can Dan White catch him? That's the question right here, guys. If we go green, who's going to drive? Who's going to save their tires and brakes to the end?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I came in here, want to give a shout out Danny Gabald, and he's kind of a short track specialist, guys. He's in that ETV 62 Toyota, and was getting worked on by Ben Bando, but seems to have everything under control, maintained, and up to speed. And the car looks good out there, so good run for Danny this week. But Bernstein still out front by about 7/10 right now over Dan White, but don't count the engineer out, guys. I'm sure he made some fine tuning on that pit stop and got a sight set on Jason Bernstein.
Yeah, Dan's been fast all night, and I'm not sure when Bernstein got around Dan White, or was attempting to get around Dan White when he ran him down there, Sean Bickle, if they were on even tires or not. But that's the weakest run I've seen Dan White on all night. He just pretty much dominated at will here tonight.
Dan White second, Jason Riddle third, and I tell you, one of the hottest drivers in ARCA Sim Racing right now is that 96 car Jason Riddle. And he's really been tearing it up over at the ASC Team Series for Elite Sim Racing. And they got two out of three races there. He's got 2 wins in a row. And really been hot, and hot over here at ASRC right now, and he's hot on Dan White's bumper, so it looks like it may take a few laps for that 96 car to come in Hollywood, but he's all over the back of Dan. Boy, he really drove it in hard that time.
Yeah, he sure did, and as long as Jason Riddle's in there putting the pressure on Dan White right here, that's going to allow Jason Bernstein to maintain that lead. But looks like Riddle got a little loose right there, and Dan White pulled right away and put about 3 car lengths between them, and that might be exactly what he needed to go catch that leader.
Yeah, right now as Chris Wilson looks underneath the 22 of Frank Simano, so move Chris Wilson into the 4th spot. And he was having a great season, had struggled these past few races, kind of took himself out of contention there for the championship, but having a good run tonight. But man, Toledo, one of my favorite tracks, Hollywood, and Riddle got that apron in 3 and 4, and you go 1 and 2 are kind of a tight turn, but 3 and 4 you get it right down on that little bump on the bottom of the track where that white line is next to the grass, and it kind of it's like a sweeping turn, and you just want to turn it too much and oversteered. But the caution on the speedway right now. And David Bass, what did you see down there, buddy?
Hey guys, I'm sure John will be bringing that up on ETV replay here momentarily, but looks like the 12 of Brian Pace there got sideways. I'm not sure exactly what happened here, but I was kind of riding behind him here a little bit, and fortunately for me, I was able to front of back. It didn't hurt me any, but definitely kind of got a mirror full of smoke, or I should say windshield full of smoke.
Well, as I'm queuing this up on the ETV replay in your cockpit, David Bass, tell us what you're thinking of when you're driving through all this smoke.
I was sitting here going, okay, where is he? So I know where to go that he isn't.
Well, I tell you what, I looked at that, and just as I was talking about Riddle and 3 and 4, it's a sweeping corner, and it's not all the way round, you know. And you get that, you clip that apron right there in the bottom of 4, and that's what he did. It looked like he clipped it and just upset the car, and around she went, Hollywood.
Yeah, you know, one of the great things about this racetrack is when you come off of turn 4, you can really get some speed off of turn 4, but you carry so much speed into turn 1. It's got, oh, and we're on pit road. Dan White fakes out Jason Bernstein. Jason Bernstein is solo on pit road, and he is going to fall way back in the field right here. Way back.
Alright, so Jason Bernstein, he's going to make his pit stop right now and put him back in the field, but have a little bit fresher tires on there, but
we can pit now.
It's about 27 laps to go, guys. I don't know, and if we have a rash of cautions, that's really going to hurt him. We saw that happen to Gary Harttrump Jr. in the ASC Team Series last week. He got up front and was leading and ended up pitting, wasn't able to get back to the front, so this might have cost Mr. Bernstein the race, but we'll have to see. He's patient, moves back up. But Jason Bernstein, you got a copy on the radio there, buddy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey man, did you get faked out, or did you mean to make that pit stop?
Oh, that was a planned pit stop. I thought a couple more guys would come in, but that was definitely a planned pit stop. We just got to make our way to the front. So far, our race has gone pretty uneventful. There was one time when this guy Randy something, I think it's a 47, I don't know, but he was blocking Dan White when we were trying to pass him and hitting him when he went down the straightaways. I went to pass him and he put me in the grass, so he's driving kind of aggressive. That gave me some damage, but other than that, it's been a pretty uneventful race, but it's about to get eventful, I can promise you that right now.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, buddy, it's good to see you in an ARCA car again, man. And looks like you're picking up where you left off, up there running out front. And we'll see if you can get back up there, man. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, we'll see. I'm just going to try and Earnhardt it to the front. I mean, I thought some more would come in. I got to make up 11 spots, but if I make up a spot a lot, which I doubt will happen, then I'll get it. So hopefully there's a couple wrecks I can make it through and just get some track position, battle for the lead, but we're coming to the green here. We'll see what we can do.
Alright, Jason, good luck, man. Alright, Hollywood, coming out turn 4, looks like we're going to get a restart, about 25 to go if I'm correct.
Green flag, yeah, that's about right, 25 to go. My eyes are on Jason Bernstein right here. Oh, and he gets into the back of our second place and gets in the back of Paul Conway and shoots him to the top, so he's definitely Earnhardt it because he gave Paul Conway the business right there, boys.
Yeah, Jason Bernstein giving Conway the business, and those two drivers raced together over at BCR, so no stranger there to trading paint, I'm sure. And Conway's car just looks a little damaged there. Tough break for him tonight. But Dan White out front, and Chris Wilson, guys, makes a move for second. Chris Wilson in the Elite Sim Racing Chevrolet, he's going to go to second spot right now and get past Riddle. And remember, Hollywood, looks like it takes Riddle's car maybe about 5, 6, or 7 laps before it really gets going.
Yeah, he's got to get them tire temps up, you know, under caution. Them tires will cool off and tire pressures will come down a little bit. So it takes him a few laps to get some of that, you know, built up rubber burn off of it and get the tire pressures and back up in that number 96 Riddle. I think he's the only one that's still running Pontiac, so a little bit underfunded there, guys, so you might want to send some money his way. And looks like Chris Wilson almost got to the back of White as I'm talking about Riddle. So Wilson wants the lead from Dan White, and Dan White's just not the muscle he was earlier in the race. These other guys might have been playing possum.
Yeah, well, Chris Wilson, guys, you know, he's got 2 wins this season.
All right, yellow flag.
And sitting 4th in points, 43 back, so probably out of championship contention right now. Looks like Hinkle may have finding a little bit of trouble here at the Toledo Speedway in the ETV machine as he's slow coming out of turn number 2. But David Bass, were you around that one down there?
I sure was. About 2 cars back there, Sean. Managed to avoid it myself, but once again, these guys are definitely getting aggressive here as we're getting down towards the end of the race. And looked like Hinkle I'm not sure exactly if he got a little bit of got touched a little bit there, or if he just went around. I'm not sure exactly. You guys have to tell me from your perspective at this point, because I'm not able to see that from here.
It looks like he's going to get a little bit of help here from Dan Roden in that 19 car. He gives Jerry Hinkle just a little bit of a nudge, just enough to throw him into the corner, a little harder than what he needed to go. Jerry Hinkle's going to take a hard lick at the outside wall, and Roden's going to mosey on through.
That's a tough break for Jerry Hinkle.
Lead cars on.
He's sitting 6 in points right now, guys. But Jason Burstein moved up to 7th, guys. But right now, why don't we step away, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here to the leader in sim broadcasting, ETV Live. Stay, don't go away.
ETV, Elite Sim Racing TV, brings you the ETV Superstore. Quality products featuring ETV t-shirts for $13.75, ETV Live coffee mugs at $13.95 each, and ETV Live hats for $13.75. Get a DVD of your event for only $10, and if you order within 48 hours of the event, you get it for only $8. ETV Live Superstore, EliteSimRacingTV.com. Visa and MasterCard accepted. ETV, EliteSimRacingTV.com, the only choice.
Okay, we're going back to green next time by. Lap cars on the inside.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here at Toledo Speedway for the ASRC Elite Pro Series race number 11. Dan White, your leader. It's like going to have about 14 laps to go. And Hollywood, Chris Wilson sitting in 2nd. And I'd say that's my pick for the night. Since I came in late, I'm going to pick late.
Well, I tell you what, here, you know, he's been kind of a sleeper tonight. He's took care of his stuff. He's just kind of mingled in, and now it's time to go. And he's got a clean race car. He's fast, and I definitely think he's got something for Dan White right here.
Green flag back out. Then down into 1 and 2, Dan White, your leader. Chris Wilson. White got a great restart there, great run through 1 and 2, puts a little bit of distance on Chris Wilson and Jason Riddle. 3rd battle back here. Here comes Burstein. He's underneath Danny Gabaldon. So Burstein in the 5th and plenty of time left. Remember, he made a pit stop, so he's on some fresher tires as he's looking at the back of the 22 of Frank Simano right now, coming out of 4. So Burstein back on the move, Hollywood.
Yeah, he's definitely flying through the pack, and Wilson, he's kind of needing his stuff to come up. Riddle's waiting for his stuff to come in, and they're just riding 2-3. Look, Bernstein takes over the 4th position from Simano. He's wasting no time as he puts eyes on the 96 of Jason Riddle.
Yeah, Bernstein in the 4th right now, and I tell you, those tires are really paying off right now. Is not much of a challenge there from Riddle. I think Riddle realized that that was Bernstein. He's on the fresh tires and kind of just let him go. But right now, he's Bernstein on the back of Chris Wilson. And looks like he's going to look underneath Wilson, and looks like Wilson's just going to let him go. So Bernstein made the pit stop, and here in just a short amount of time is on the back of Dan White, and we'll see if Dan White pulls over and lets him go, guys.
I doubt he'll
that's
pull
gonna
over.
happen.
I doubt he'll pull over, but Bernstein's
Oh,
jamming it in there.
contacting 3 and 4, and Bernstein Earnhardt's it in there, as he says. So Bernstein back to the lead now with 9 laps to go as they hit through 1 and 2, Hollywood.
Yeah, that was the door business right there, man. I'm gonna make another word. That was the what I call it earlier, the door jamming or the
Bumper
something.
fussing. Bumper fuss.
Yeah, so
Fussy
that's the door.
bumpers.
Yeah, that's the fussy bumpers. That's a fussy door right there, because he gave Dan White a new number on the side of that car as they went through the corner. And Dan White struggling, and Bernstein with them 4 fresh tires. It's definitely his race to lose right now, guys, because he is pulling away from second place by over a second right now.
Yeah, Bernstein 1.155 seconds ahead, and back here, guys, around 5th and 6th, looks like Hal Beardsworth, he's moved into the 6th spot. Remember, he's 3rd in points. Bando right there, his teammate in the 51 car, he's up on the high side right now. Danny Gabaldon's looking inside, but Bando got really loose. Now, look, here's your championship contenders right now battling for the 8th spot. Paul Conway's going to go underneath of Bando. Conway looking like he may want to get underneath the Danny Gabaldon. They crossed the line. We got 3 laps to go, and this is not what Bando wanted to see, as he's in a hornet's nest losing spots. Conway's picking up spots, so this is going to have major championship, whatever here, but wow. 3 laps to go, guys.
Yeah, 3 laps to go, and Paul Conway, man, that is the move of the race for the championship, because Ben Bando has not led a lap yet tonight, but Paul Conway has, so that's an extra incentive bonus. Plus, you're talking about 5 more, and Paul Conway might come out with a points lead tonight after that move, guys.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, that was white flag lap, guys. Jason Bernstein.
Oh, Dan White around.
Turn number 4, and is that going to be the checkered flag?
Yes, it is.
All right, well, checkered flag, Jason Bernstein, congratulations on the win. Jason Riddle brings it home 2nd. Chris Wilson, he dropped back to 3rd. Frank Simonto 4th. Beardsworth in 5th. And you said it, Hollywood. Move of the race, Paul Conway with that late surge gets his car in the 6th spot. Hinkle in 7th, Sean Brown 8th, Danny Gabaldon 9th, and guys, Bando in 10th. So I would assume that from the information I have, that Paul Conway is probably going to leave Toledo with the points lead headed to Texas next week.
Yeah, wait a minute, do it, John. You got a replay for the fans real quick on Dan White there at the end, because he spun in some hard contact there at the end of the race.
Alright, well, that's going to do it here at Toledo. So 200 laps complete. Jason Bernstein, your winner. We're going to round up the top 3 finishers right now and get started with the MTCO post-race show right after this quick commercial break here on ETV Live, the leader in sim broadcasting.
BurtSoftware.com. If you're into fantasy football, check out the software tools available to make your gameplay more enjoyable and realistic, like draft predictors, statistics, game day preps, and a whole lot more. And if you're into sim racing, SimFile Fetcher is the tool every league owner needs to manage car files, tracks, setups, and more. And if you're into building setups, the ARCA Setup Disc is a great data comparison tool for the more serious setup builder. Improve your spotter communications with Burt Software's GTRL Spotter Pack. Burt Software also provides website design with professional results, impressive designs which are low cost and low maintenance. BurtSoftware.com, the proud sponsor of the number 43 and 72 ARCA race team at ASRC Elite Pro Series on Wednesday nights. Watch Zach Methvin and Robert Cobb every Wednesday night on ETV, EliteSimRacingTV.com on the ARCA channel.
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the leader in sim broadcasting, ETV Live. We're here at the Toledo Speedway, the MTCO post-race show. And we've rounded up our top 3 finishers, and I believe, John the Bad Boy Westling, you've caught up with 3rd place Chris Wilson?
I sure have, and I'm so glad to see Chris Wilson back up in the top 5, guys. Chris, just spectacular run tonight. You showed patience all night long and let the track come to you, and run us through your race a little bit.
I didn't have too good a run there at the first stint. I got in the back of the 71 car there one time. Apologized to him for that, and that got us a lap down time. All the pitting and everything got sorted out, but yeah, it felt good to get a top 5 tonight. Glad to put a good run in for the Elite Sim Racing Chevrolet, and yeah, it wasn't too bad of a night. We salvaged it anyway. Kept a fairly clean car all night.
Yeah, Chris, the elite drivers have really struggled here this season. We just seem like we've been off a tick almost every race this season so far. It's really good to see a elite sim racing all top 5 here tonight. Was this a setup that you just had to work on through the race to make it better? Because it seemed like you're a little sluggish through the beginning of the race and seemed to really excel towards the end.
Yeah, the setup something I worked on during the week with my teammates Danny Gabalden, Frankie Sormento, and Jason Riddle. We got in here yesterday and worked on it a lot, and that was about the only day we worked on anything here lately. With work and everything going as hard as I am, it's been hard to get on here a lot, but it wasn't a bad setup, and track kind of come to it, and track position meant a lot.
Well, Chris Wilson, we really miss seeing you on TETV and miss seeing you racing, and I heard you built a lot of swim pools in the summer, and I could really use a swim pool. How long would I have to wait to get one installed, Chris?
Oh man, right now we had to put you in after the 4th for sure.
Well, that wouldn't be too bad, would it, Shaw Bickle?
No, not at all.
Well, Chris, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. I'm just tickled pink to see you back up here finishing 3rd place tonight. Anybody out there you want to give a shout out to before we cut you loose tonight?
I just appreciate all y'all in the broadcast, and y'all do a good job with it every time y'all broadcasting. I want to thank Ivan Ward for adminning this whole Pro Series deal, and just everybody a good run tonight. And you especially for sponsoring my car, Elite Sim Racing Chevrolet. We appreciate it.
Well, there you have it, race fans. Your 3rd place finisher tonight here at Toledo, that 84 car Elite Sim Racing machine of Chris Wilson. And I believe Hollywood Mark Bratcher is caught up with our 2nd place finisher, which had a race car all night long, that 96 car racing Jason Riddle.
Yeah, I got the racing Jason Riddle down here. Didn't have to walk far from the booth tonight since we're just at this little half-mile track, but I got down here, and Jason Riddle gets out here and pulls the helmet off. He's sweating, and you'd think he run 1,000 miles tonight, so pretty physical out there tonight, Mr. Riddle.
Yeah, it was. I had a good race, but an awful race. I got tied up with Cobb early in the race. I just barely tapped his bumper, and I hit my brake so hard I self-spun it, but I still knocked him around. And then, of course, everybody seen it there at the end. I got into the back of damn wide. I don't know. He checked up pretty hard to hold that bottom, which I don't blame him. I would have checked up hard to hold the bottom too, but I got into the back of him. I guess I'm responsible for the car in front of me, so I guess that's my fault. So I apologize to both of them drivers. I look like a pretty dirty driver out there tonight, I guess, but I really wouldn't. I wasn't being aggressive. I really took my time with my car most of the night. Just there at the end of the race, I was driving it hard, and like I say, Dan White checked up extra hard to keep it on the bottom. Not saying he done anything wrong. He just checked up awful hard to keep it on the bottom, and I just got into the back of him. I was trying to run it hard through the center so I could get a run off the corner, but I got him first, so I got to apologize to both of them.
Yeah, just a little short track racing there, but your car looked good throughout the night. It seemed like it took about 3 or 4 laps for it to come in. Was your setup? Were you set up for the long run, or just looking for a long green flag run? Is that what you needed to maybe capitalize and maybe even get a win out of this thing tonight, or?
I believe so. I believe I was looking for a long run. I don't think I was as good as Bernstein at all. Nowhere. Congrats to him for winning the race. He was fast all night, and I believe he was good on a long run too. But that one long run we did get, Dan White ended up putting about 2.5 seconds on me, and I was watching the times. Spotter was calling out times to me, and he had leveled off. We was hitting the same times he was. I don't know if he was cooling his tires off or if he was starting to back up or not. So I believe we had a top 3 car where we finished. I believe Dan White and Bernstein was probably a little better.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Riddle, on another second place finish. You might want me to retire from the booth, because as long as I'm up here in the booth, I'm letting Doom and you with second place, because me and you having a lot of post race conversations here lately. So congratulations there, and hopefully not a hex to you. But you got some your fans, family, sponsors, or anything you need to get out there, bub?
Just my teammates, Chris Wilson, Danny Gabaldon, Frankie Cemento. We all work on the setups a good bit. So I mean, gotta thank all them. Elite Sim Racing, John, he pays the bills. He puts the horsepower under the hood for me. ETV for broadcasting, Ivan Ward for putting the show on, and all y'all that make it happen up here. It makes it fun. I mean, I don't mind talking to you every week. If I'm talking to you every week, I finish in the top 3, so that ain't too bad. I wished I could get a win, but it'll come. And like I say, I want to apologize to Dan White. I know he's probably got smoke coming off his head right now wanting to get a hold of me, but I apologize to him again. That's the way it goes sometimes.
Well, as long as I'm down here, I hold them back, and I'll let the reins loose when I get out of here, because I definitely don't want to get in the way of flying helmets and all. But congratulations, there's your second place finisher, Jason Riddle. And I believe the businessman's caught up with the dominant winner tonight, boys.
Yeah, Hollywood, watch out for those flying helmets down there, man. It might get pretty rough. But I'm here in Victory Lane with Jason Burstein. Man, we talked to you on the after that pit stop, restarted 11th, and here you are in Victory Lane, buddy. Walk us through that last 25 laps.
Oh man, I didn't want to say it on the broadcast, but I thought I was screwed. I thought I was going to finish 5th, 6th, the best, but this thing was just flying. It was really, really fast. The setup was just on. I guess I got to thank the Sim Factor for not putting out too many updates since I last ran the setups about 8 months ago. Because this thing was just on rails, and I passed about a car a lap. There's a couple cars that you would expect to run like that. You just had to run them a little more aggressive. I think everybody knows what you're talking about. But all kidding aside, yeah, just tried to make our way to the front pretty quick, and I knew that there would be cautions. I'm glad that it went green to the end like that with, I think it was 15 to go, but we had to think one caution there. We passed about a car or two a lap, but just trying to be aggressive, and most of the guys out there knew that I was on fresher tires, where it had a lot of give right there, and really all night there was a lot of give and take. There was a couple drivers that it may be blocked and shouldn't be doing that, but for the most part everybody was pretty patient and really clean racing out there tonight.
Well, Jason, we haven't seen you in here in the ARCA Sim in a while. It's great to see you back. Is this victory, is this motivation to get you back in an ARCA car full-time maybe?
I don't know about full-time, maybe more of a part-time deal, kind of when my favorite tracks come around. This is actually one of my worst tracks. I've never done good at it. Me and, I don't know if anybody remembers him, Jeremy Allen, we were talking on Skype one night, it was a couple nights ago, about 4 nights ago, and we were looking at the schedule, because this is the most popular league out there right now, and heard it's ran very well, so we're looking, and Toledo, it's really his wheelhouse, and he said, let's do this. I'm like, I'm not really good at that track. He said, let's do it, so we got this set up out of the archive from 8 months ago. I think we took about 3 rounds of wedge out, and it was flying, so unfortunately wasn't able to run tonight, but pretty good run. I had a lot of fun. I don't know about full-time, but maybe we'll do a couple races here and there at my favorite tracks.
All right, Jason. Well, congratulations, man, and we'll let you celebrate with your friends and crew and everybody, and hopefully we'll see you on the track in an ARCA car again real soon, buddy.
I appreciate it. We'll see. I'll probably be running a couple more here. A couple more here the rest of the season. We'll see. But just gotta thank. I know it's a while ago that he made this set, but Mike Lawton, it was a long time ago, but I gotta thank him for making it. Couldn't be in victory lane without him. Jeremy Ellen for just fine-tuning a couple changes since we got set. John Westling, all you broadcasters up here at ETV for putting on a great show. I'm definitely going to go back and watch this and enjoy this show. And just got to thank Ivan Ward for putting this on.
All right, guys, that's your winner for tonight. Jason Burstein made the pit stop with 25 to go, got it to the front, and going to celebrate tonight and enjoy the victory here at Toledo. But that's gonna do it with our post-race interviews. But I want to remind everybody not to forget we need to help Tyler win his battle against leukemia, and sign up for the Tyler Kisslinger 125. It's a $20 entry fee or donation, however you want to look at it, and all proceeds are going to go to Tyler and his family for the big fight that they're going to have coming up. It's going to be donated prizes awarded to the top 3. And one lucky driver is going to win a grand prize of a new G27, Logitech G27 racing wheel. And I believe Tyler himself is going to pick out the running position for that race, which would be race number 1. There's going to be 2 races, and it's going to be race number 1 on Saturday, June 26th, going to be live right here on ETV. And Tyler will pick out a driver running in a certain position, and they're going to win a Logitech G27 racing wheel. But remember, that's next weekend, June 26th and June 27th, so running out of time, you need to get over to www.arcasimracingclub.com, and up there in the menu on the right, you'll see benefit race, and you can get a lot of information there, and that's where you can sign up and pay your $20 entry fee and get involved. We need everybody to get involved. Come out, have a fun night of racing, and all for a great cause. You can also, over on Facebook, keep up with it. Look up Kisses for Tyler over on Facebook, and that's their Facebook page for that. And want to remind everybody that next week, guys, we got 2 more races for the ASRC Elite Pro Series. Next week we're going to be in Texas, and then Championship Week in Charlotte. And Paul Conway made that late surge at the end. And he may be leaving here with the points lead, if I'm not mistaken, guys. So this championship battle is just absolutely too close to call with only 2 races left. So tune in next Wednesday, and hopefully I'll be able to make that race on time. And also want to remind everybody, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, the ASC Team Series race number 4 is going to be from the Milwaukee Mile. And so tune into the ASC Team Series Season 3 presented by MTCO.com. But Hollywood, sorry I wasn't here for pre-race, buddy, but thanks for stepping up to the plate for us.
Yeah, definitely exciting. At ETV, I'm with you guys here in the booth, and I knew you'd be around. I knew you didn't run off for a pack of cigarettes and a drink and not come back, so I knew we just had a little bit of technical difficulty, but definitely exciting. So to the viewers that bared with me on the throw it together real quick and opened it up, I hope the viewers enjoyed the race. And one thing I wanted to touch up on Tyler, that even if you're not racing and you want to help, you can also just donate. You don't have to race. You can donate, watch the race, because I'll be in here broadcasting with Sean Bickle and all the ETV crew, and the innocent shouldn't have to pay. So get in there and help him, guys. He's 4 years old. Definitely going to be a struggle on him with his little body and his family. So keep them in your mind and prayers. If you can't donate, just pray for them and think about them, and support any way you possibly can. And the G27 is a fantastic prize, but the big prize in all this is every little bit we can help him and his family. But I'm going to go cut it loose. I'm going to go offer Bernstein a contract for next season to drive the 38 Hollywood Motorsports Ford Mustang.
All right, well, that's going to do it here at Toledo with the MTCO post-race show. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. And check out the e-play here in just a short amount of time over on the ETV Live website, www.elitesimracingtv.com. Check out the e-play. We're going to call it a night. Again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock right there on the ARCA channel.